Hello everybody, happy Annunciation Day. Happy feast day of the Annunciation of Mary. You know this channel is all about that, all about the yes of Mary, and that is a perfect day today to get into my thoughts about it, something that you probably are aware of if you're watching videos here, if you know this channel and what this channel is about. And I really was able to get closer to Jesus through Mary. No doubt about it. And Catholic or not, I think the place of Mary is very special because of that perfect will that she had. Being able to say yes to God that way, without knowing the full extent of the plan that He had for her. And something that the priest said this morning that was truly beautiful is that heaven touched the earth through the yes of Mary. Think about it. Picture that. See the bridge. See the perfect surrender that she had. See the grace that she received. She didn't know everything about that plan, right? And I talked a lot about that surrender, that will for us upon our lives and being able to say yes to that without even knowing anything about it or everything about it. And I'm a control freak. And I learned, or I'm still learning, to surrendering myself to the will of God through the Mary or the yes of Mary. And that's not a one day done that, or one day that you do that and you're good for the rest of your life. That's a yes that you have to do for everything, every decision, everything in your life, every story in your life, every step of the journey. It's just that yes that you keep saying until you get to be fully surrendered to His will. And that is a path, that is a journey. And that's why when you look at the life of Mary, you see that, you mimic that, and that's going to get you so much more closer to Jesus, so much. And for me, in my own life, in my own story, I talked a lot about a lot of things, and being a control freak, and wanting to know everything about my plans, and wanting to plan everything and anything, and or at least trying to know everything that God has for my life, and keep asking that and being paralyzed, to be honest, when I don't know the full extent of it. It's a hard path. It's a path that gets you to be a lot more anxious than anything else. When you think about Mary, you see the peace, you see the serenity, not because she knew everything, but because she trusted God. Not because God did something amazing for her life prior to that, but because she knew God. She trusted Him because it was a Father. She knew Him, right? She could give everything to Him because she had that really big trust. A trust doesn't involve you knowing everything and anything. Actually, it involves you falling off of the cliff and trusting that God is going to be able to handle that, handle you, being able to carry you wherever you go, even if you are literally screaming because you don't know anything. You see just the dark, you see everything that is dark, you don't see anything. But that involves you trusting and falling off of the cliff, jumping, with no plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E, right? And the picture of that bridge that Mary had for us from heaven through to the earth with that yes is a bit of us being able to just being called to do the same thing for other people out there, people that don't know Jesus at all, people that have a picture or idea about Jesus that probably is not aligned with what the true living God is. Everything is twisted in society. When you live for everything that you see, wherever you are, we have issues, we have problems. It's not going to be the same thing, but we have issues. And that comes down to that. That comes down to us rebelling all the time, not trying to just surrender and say yes. We need to plan everything. We need to know everything. When we don't know, we can't say yes. We can't surrender. We can't just say yes. And God just doesn't give you any type of exchange transaction for Him to be able, for you to be able to love Him, right? And that was the case of Mary. She didn't have any exchange transaction prior to her saying yes. She saw it and she said yes, because she was a servant. And everything according to that was just for her to say yes. And that's a vocation. Her vocation was to be that bridge for us to Jesus. And Catholic or not, when you're Christian, no matter what you may think about the Catholic Church, about even Catholics in general, you have to at least acknowledge that part of Mary, that yes of Mary, that perfect will, that perfect surrender, wherever you are, whoever you are. Because she was human just like us. And sometimes it can be harder to relate to Jesus directly because he was fully man and fully God. And we're not that. We're called to be like that. And that bridge is Mary being right there in front of us, and being able to go directly to Jesus with our needs, our anxieties, our fears, our questions, our doubts even. And she keeps that, she gets that, and she gives her son. That's her vocation. That's always been her vocation. And that is such a perfect way to see that, to mimic that, to get out there and to be that bridge for people, right? To be able to say yes every single day, every step of the way. And that is what the day is about. That is what the Annunciation is about. Not to adore Mary, not to idolize Mary, but to respect her because she was able to say yes. And that channel is all about that. That's what we learn here. The perfect will, the perfect surrendering. There's nothing else that's going to make you the most joyful, happiest than that yes. For everybody out there, for everybody that you're going to talk to when you think about Jesus. And in my story, it was that. I always had a hard time just being able to really having that relationship, living relationship with Jesus. It was not impossible, but I always put him at a distance, right? I always saw him as just Jesus, God, respecting him. But in my mind, we were never able to be friends, to be friends like that, I guess. So there was the respect, there was the fear too, but not the healthy one. And that's something that I'm still working through, right? But with Mary, right in between, right through that, she gets to just help me so much more to trust with that peace, niceness, and humility that she has. When I look at her, I see Jesus' love, I feel Jesus' love through her. And it's a journey, definitely a journey. You don't say yes just one time, you say yes every step of the way. Every action, every decision, every story in your life, every situation is in your life. That gets you to be sanctified through that and being called to being a saint at the end of the day, because we are called to be saints, just like Mary. So that was my little thoughts for today. You think about it and just wishing you a really beautiful day, because it's a great day. It's a really great day. We're getting to the Holy Week next week, so that's going to be another dimension of our Christian life, I would say. But for today, let's just enjoy it and really think about it, getting grounded, being grounded in that. So I'm going to see you in my other videos. Like I say all the time, keep smiling because it's free and contagious in a good way.